Today, we're going to be going through 8 awesome Instagram templates that you can use to sell your food online. Now, food is arguably one of the hardest things to sell online because there's no taste testers, there's no sampling, there's no smell, and you have to rely on the visual sense of what that food is going to taste like when they purchase it and then when it's finally delivered in a few days. Now, that is a very difficult thing to do, but not if you understand the psychology of what food ads work and what don't. Now, I want to clarify, this is not a copywriting problem. If you're hiring an email marketer and they say words like mouth-watering are going to get people to purchase, they're not. When you're running meta ads, the most important thing is the visual demonstration of how awesome your food is going to make them feel when they get that first bite. You're selling the idea of, a steak sounds awesome tonight. That's what you're going for. You want to make the feeling of a hunger and a craving and a visual desire for that food as strong as possible. And because humans process images so much faster than they process headlines or text or descriptions, imagery and video is the way to go. And these templates today that we're going to be going through are going to focus on that. Let's get into the first example, which I call the swap hook. This is the I stopped buying XYZ brand and did this instead. Here's an example.
Here are 4 things I stopped buying altogether.
This works because it triggers comparison. The viewer immediately asks themselves, am I the person still buying that stupid thing that's hurting my heart or whatever? It speaks directly to the people who are already in the category of people who buy the foods that are competitors to your existing product. You're speaking to someone who specifically has already bought your competitors, is in the market, and is wanting to upgrade because they don't want to be experiencing the negative side effects that you just told them they don't need to experience. Number 2, the POV. Now, these ones have been showcased a whole lot. It's showcasing an emotion, an experience, an environment that looks awesome and feels like the benefits of the product that you're showcasing. For example, this could be on a camping trip. You're eating a granola bar, or you're in a restaurant and you're seeing an awesome pizza pole, whatever. Here's an example.
This new restaurant from the corner store was so good.
This one is going for selling the feeling of amazingness that the environment holds. Now, this one works especially well with brands that have a lifestyle element, things like coffee, artisan goods, specialty home meals, stuff like that, that has an element of like, oh, I'm trying to be like that soccer mom or whatever it is, where you can showcase what that looks like when you're actually experiencing it visually within the ad. Now, let's talk about one that is particularly good for restaurants and food trucks. This is the visual craving. 3-second shot showcases the primary visual element of the food. For example, a cheese pull. Boom.
This is the life. Hold on tight.
No words are needed for this one to work. It is purely looking on the visual appeal of the food in front of them. Now, a cheese pull is one that works really well because even people who are not particularly interested in cheese, such as myself, are going to watch that video because it looks cool. But if you have something like really awesome sauce or cheese or pepperoni or whatever, just something that is visually interesting, you can make this work without it being that exact template. The next one is one that is not specific to food brands. In fact, the example that I'm going to be showcasing isn't a food brand at all. It's a shoe brand, but it still works incredibly well for those e-commerce food brands out there. It's the unboxing video. Here's the example. Now, surprise and delight are hard emotions to fake, and if you're hiring UGC actors to do these videos, they're probably not going to get it perfect, but it probably will pass. But if you want to make it better, do it to affiliates who got your product for free. They're going to feel really impressed because they legitimately got the box for free, and if you make it a surprise box, that's even better. Now let's go to a specific problem-solving example. The convenience factor. Stop scrolling if you need a healthy dinner in under 10 minutes. That is the classic factor ads hook. That is where you're talking to people who want a healthy dinner and they don't have time to cook. This is how you do that. Now, I want to clarify, this doesn't only work for a healthy dinner in 10 minutes. It can be, I want XYZ result without XYZ problem that I don't want to have to solve. It's anything that you can mix and match. And this works best if you have a clear problem-benefit relationship with the product that you're selling. Now, education is the next example that we're going to be going through. 3 things I'm never eating again after seeing XYZ. Here's the thing, this is very close to the first example that we went through. The difference is that you're gonna be basing it on a research study or a paper or a school or a politician or whatever. You're gonna be giving credibility to an outside niche that reported on why you should not be doing XYZ thing. That gives a little bit more credibility than if you're just saying it yourself. Now here's an example.
Can you guess the top 5 unhealthiest foods in America?
I got this.
Let's go through our last example, the drip. This is an extreme close-up of sauce dripping onto food. Things like chicken joints and sauce brands and stuff like that are gonna really excel with this one. It's a close-up visual showcase of how good your food really looks when combined with a sauce. Here's an example.
Welcome to Simple Sauces Part 40.
Now this is going to be very similar to the cheese pull hook, except it's going to be focusing specifically on the sauce, which is why I mentioned that sauce brands work really well for this. But it showcases the visual interest in how good that food looks, and especially on things like Instagram Reels, where it takes up the entire screen, you are going to be spawning in cravings. Now I want to clarify, I can film any of these ads for your brand for free. All you have to do is fill out the form in the first link in the description. And the way that that works is I will meet with you, and if your brand qualifies, I will either be on a free trial or a profit split basis, where either way, I only get paid when you get the results and sales that we agreed on. That sounds interesting? All you have to do is go to the first link in the description, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave it a like.